Yo, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Let's go. Sorry that this is a little later time than normal. Had a busy day. Got a lot of stuff on the go, so apologize that this isn't a little earlier. But hey, how about that Twitter timeline right now? Hey? A little crazy out there, isn't it? Little fucking nutso, you know? People just seem to be fighting. It's almost like we're in a bear market or something, and everyone's getting angry. So for those of you who are new, and I don't mean new to my streams, I mean new to crypto. Like, let's say you came during the last bull run to now, and this is your first bear market. What you're seeing happen online happens every bear market. Okay. So this is my third bear market. Okay. And in the last bear market, so the end of 2017 going into 2018, when we went from 20K down to 3K, the same shit was happening. People were trying to expose people for paid groups, for rugs, for this, for that, the other thing. Now, in my opinion, okay, it's what's happening now, like the rugging, the scamming, whatever you want to call it going on. It's more sophisticated, but it's more trackable. So you got a guy like Zach, and he can track everything on chain, right? Especially if people are using doxed wallets and shit like that to do this kind of stuff. But I'm not going to name names, but back in 2017, 2018, back in 2013, 2014, some of your favorite big OG accounts now, they were scamming the shit out of people back then. And it was way easier to scam back then because it wasn't easy to track things on chain like it is now. Not even close. Some people who you think are pristine, never did anything wrong, they did lots of stuff wrong. It's just been a while and people have forgotten. The news cycle in crypto Twitter is very short, right? Like there's a new thing happening every fucking day, it seems, where you forget about, kind of what happened previously. So Same shit, different day. Now, I used to take much more of an active approach into like responding to people. I would go back and forth on Twitter. I would comment. But what I've tried to do over the last year or so is I'm much quicker at just muting and blocking people. And I just don't really comment on the bullshit anymore because I have nothing to gain from it. I can say some shit and get some likes, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't involve me, right? But I posted this in Telegram. I posted this in Discord, I think, as well. And on FriendTech. I'm back on FriendTech, baby. I tried to fade it, but they won't let me. They won't let me fade it. So I'm back on FriendTech, for fuck's sakes. Buy my shares, please. I found my life has gotten substantially better when I just ignore all the bullshit because it doesn't affect me. It's not taking money from me. It's not making me any money. And it's just negativity. It's negative energy. Whether you're the one, regardless of whose side you're on, it doesn't matter. It's just negative. It's negative feedback that you're getting. And that's not good for your mental state. It's not good for your well-being. It's definitely not going to help your trading. You need to be eating good, sleeping good, feeling good to perform at your maximum capabilities, trading or otherwise. And just dealing with a bunch of negativity on the fucking internet is not going to help you. I don't think it benefits anyone. But my rule of thumb for crypto Twitter, and this goes for life as well, but specifically for dealing with Twitter, you need to go through with the lens that if anyone is telling you anything on there, assume that they have a direct financial incentive for that thing that they are telling you to do, to buy, to ship, whatever. They have a direct financial incentive of that thing doing well. So what do I mean by that? If someone is telling you to long Bitcoin, good chance they're already long and own Bitcoin from before they're telling you to do it. If someone's telling you to buy an altcoin, good chance they already own the altcoin from a cheaper price. Maybe they bought it on the market and they're just shilling it because they own it. Maybe they are getting a deal that they've disclosed. Maybe they're getting a deal that they haven't disclosed. But the bottom line is the result is the same. They have a direct financial incentive in it going up in price. And that's why they're telling you. If someone's telling you to use a product, there's almost always a financial incentive for the person telling you to do something if that thing does well, right? So if price goes up of that thing, right, they're probably going to make money. If someone's you're almost never going to find someone telling you, hey, I found this amazing altcoin. It's the next 1000X. And they're telling you to buy it and they don't own any yet. In reality, they either own it from much lower and are trying to sell it to you, who's buying it after it's gone up. So I'm not saying everyone's a scammer. Lots of people have bought things on the open market and are shilling it and then are selling it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you bought something, why can you not tweet about it, okay, and then sell if it goes up? You have every right to. Now, obviously, where it gets a little sticky is if someone is doing something undisclosed, right? Then you don't know that they technically have a financial incentive. And you say, oh, this guy might actually really like this product and I really like him, so I'm going to buy it. The end of the day, though, the responsibility is on you. As much as people say, well, the influencers need to tell us if they're being paid for something, right? They should, right? The right thing to do is if you are being compensated to talk about something and you're not just talking about it because you actually like it, you should disclose that. But the result doesn't change. Whether they bought it on the open market or they were given it privately, they want to sell it higher. And the reason they're telling you to buy it is because they bought it from lower. Okay? So if you go through Twitter with that lens, assuming that everyone is a shark Everyone has their own best interest in mind, not yours. Your life is going to be a whole lot better, and you're going to save yourself money on some stupid decisions, right? I don't care how much you like someone, do your own research, because at the end of the day, whether or not they disclosed that they were paid or they weren't paid or whatever, you're the one putting your money into it, and you're the one whose money is at risk. So you need to be the one responsible for your financial decisions. Does that mean that the influencers should be able to do whatever they want? Of course not, right? There's literal legal issues of undisclosed shilling. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, that doesn't change the fact that you are the one putting your money into it. You need to be the steward of your own capital. You need to do your own research. You need to be on your fucking shit. You need to be dotting your I's and crossing your T's. Okay? So the influencers are not going anywhere. There's going to be people shilling shit for eternity. Okay? In all aspects of your life, you are going to have people trying to get you to buy shit, do shit, etc. At the end of the day, no one can force you to buy a coin. No one can force you to buy an NFT. No one can force you to do any of these things. So as much as the person on the other side telling you to do it, maybe they're being disingenuous with how they're presenting you the information, you're still the one making the decision. So you need to take personal accountability for your own decisions and your own money. I'm not saying that if you got screwed over because someone pumped and dumped some shit, right, that the influencer should get off scot-free. That's not what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, they didn't force you to buy it, right? You bought it, and now you have to live with the result of whether it goes up and down. All I'm saying is if you are going to listen to an influencer and make a financial decision with your money, okay, based on what an influencer is saying, you need to do your own research and you need to live with the result. Because even if that person rugged or they pumped and dumped or blah, 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 at the end of the day, you decided to put your money in there, right? So you have to take some level of the responsibility. Okay. Now, as you guys know, I'm a fucking influencer. I've got 300,000 followers on Twitter. Anytime I fucking invest into something, I try my best to let you guys know that I have an upside, right? Like if I own something, if I'm fucking telling you to buy Bitcoin or I'm posting a bullish signal, it's probably because I'm already long, right? So you got to keep that in mind, even with me. Like when I'm talking about our sponsors, Prime XBT, understand I'm saying this video is partnered with them. That means they are paying me, right? So there is a financial relationship there that I obviously try and make everyone aware of anytime I do anything, right? But clearly, based on the reaction that you see online, a lot of people want to point the finger at anyone other than themselves. And I'm not saying that the influencers shilling shit undisclosed are in the right or in the wrong or anything like that. I'm not passing judgment. I'm just saying it's your fucking money. So you better be doing the fucking research, right? And if you're buying something because someone on Twitter told you to, good chance you're a fucking idiot, right? Like if you're just buying it because a Twitter account you like told you to buy it, you're an idiot. And if it doesn't go well, that's just as much your fault as anyone else's. Okay? So my opinion, assume everyone is a shark. Everyone has their own best interest in mind. Everyone who's trying to sell you, shill you some bullshit, right? Probably has a financial incentive in the upside of whatever that fucking thing is. So just go through life with that lens and it will be a whole lot better. You'll get taken advantage of a whole lot less. Okay? So let's get on with the video here, okay? Bitcoin. Who you fucking whiny bitches in the chat? All right, bro. Even my grandma understands. Feeling like I'm listening to a moany woman. How about you shut the fuck up? How about that? How about you shut the fuck up? If you don't want to listen, fuck off. I don't give a fuck. You don't need to be here. Leave, bro. I'm fucking talking to the homies here who follow me because I think they value the stuff I have to say. If you don't fucking care, fuck off, bro. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody cares about your opinion. All right, let's look at Bitcoin. So a little bit of tricky spot. Obviously, a little bit choppy. It's been messy, right? It's been messy. It's been hard to trade. We've now swept the lows of the last 3 weeks, and then we swept last week's high. So we're in a little bit of a kind of sticky spot here. So I'm going to try and map out some scenarios here. But in all honesty, there's better assets to trade right now as opposed to Bitcoin, in my opinion. But I'm going to map out some scenarios that I'm watching. But from a high time frame perspective, we're still just waiting, right, for price to give us some sort of clue about where it's going, right? So I need some sort of expansion one way or another to then kind of get some confidence in, a potential trend forming. Because right now we're at the bottom of this range and we've had 1, 2, 3. We're in the middle of at the beginning of the 4th week of just kind of sideways, right? So looking at the weekly, there's really not much to update here other than we swept the lows and now we swept last week's high. So gun to my head, I think the sweeping of the last 3 weeks lows is bullish. I know that we're sweeping this high here, but I do think that there is a chance that we can push up, maybe even back to this mid-range. But I think the safe long is going to be above this old mid-range here. So what I've drawn out here is the fair value gap on the weekly chart, right? So it's this low to this high here, okay? This is a fair value gap. You can see we came up into the fair value gap, we rejected. Now, if we come up to this fair value gap again, I think the likelihood of rejection is significantly less. This fair value gap is also perfectly overlaid with the mid-range of June. So to me, the easiest long signal is a reclaim of this, okay? If we're able to get back above 28K, I think we trade to 32 up to here. Above this high and above this high, okay? So what does that mean? Well, that means that if you don't take any trades until then, let's say we go up to 28, right? That's an 8% move. And then after 28, we go to 32, that's a 12% move. So in total, it's a 20% move higher, right? But if you wait for us to reclaim 28K, you're missing the start of the move. I'm okay with missing the start of the move, right? I don't need to catch the entire move. I care about catching the meat of the move. So if I have some confidence that if we get back out of 28K, there's a high likelihood we trade to 32, I'm okay not catching the first part of the long and being aggressive once we have that confirmation. So that's kind of the easy long trigger that I see here. The second long trigger that I see is going to be a sweep of June's range low, which we almost got, but we effectively have equal lows here now. So these two lows are basically equal. Then we have this low here. Okay, and then we have this breaker. I also think that a potential long opportunity would be another flush down into here, and maybe that's something that we buy on strength at that 23K level. So that would be the next area. If we're going to break down lower, 23,300, the middle of this breaker block is the next area of interest for me. Okay? Now, zooming in to kind of the more intraday chart. So as you can see here, we took out the last 3 weeks lows. We pumped back up. and then we swept last week's high. Now we're trading right at this breaker here, right? Because this has become a breaker. And we're finding some support here. So you could argue that if we're not going to sell off lower, this is where price should go up from. Okay? So you could find a long here. Right? In here, or maybe you have a looser stop, and that could be the trade that takes you into the mid-range. Something in this area, basically saying, okay, this is going to be support now, and I want to see price trade higher. You could take, if you have an aggressive stop, you could take a more conservative target of 27K. And this is absolutely a trade that I see the logic of, right? 12-hour breaker. This is the up candle that took out all those old lows. We shifted to the upside. We broke market structure. Now we're retesting. So I absolutely could see this being the area where price holds and then pushes higher. Okay. So that's what I'm going to be watching here over the next little bit. We have CPI tomorrow. So there could definitely be some fuckery in the charts. We could see a quick spike lower, maybe fill in some of this fair value gap here, right? And then go up. Lots can happen. But for now, I don't have a very clear signal as to I want to long this, I want to short this. The only thing that I could see is a lower time frame short here based on the 12-hour bearish SFP, right? So you could say, okay, well, here's your bearish H12 SFP. We'll look for a move up into here, right? And then that's the short. And then we see what happens down here. That's the only kind of short trigger that I see right now. But to be honest with you, I'm probably going to let CPI play out before I decide to take any trades here. And we could see a lot happen, right, tomorrow. And then we have interest rates on Thursday. So we could see some fuckery. We could see this move fully retrace. Lots of shit can happen. But for now, to me, this is an area where if price wants to trade to 27K, potentially higher, this down move should sustain, and this should be the low, right? So it should retrace into here, and it should not breach this low if we're going to go higher towards 28K. So that's kind of what I'm watching right now on Bitcoin. I want to see what happens tomorrow. Maybe we dip a little bit deeper into here, and that is a long opportunity that I potentially would be interested in taking if we get some sort of bullish price action in here, or if we even just get a deeper pullback. So within this move here, right, if I zoom in, I would like to see, what can I do here to delete some of these, make it less fucking busy. Here we go. Within this price leg here, right, we have a very clear fair value gap right here. And if you put on your regular fib, right, your sweet spot is right in there. So something I could see potentially happen in CPI here, right, is a move down into here quickly and then a move up. But if you're bullish on Bitcoin, right, and you think we're going to go higher, you think that 28K is more likely than 23K, I would want to see this down move be the low, and this break up, we're looking for a retest here in this area from here down in like here. I want to see that hold, and I would be interested in potentially taking a long there. So to just make the chart clean for a second, effectively this is the range. Okay, any sort of move below the mid-range, I would want to see get bought up quickly. Target here. Target 2 would be here. Okay, target 3 would be the high time frame mid-range. That would be kind of the long scenario that I could see play out. Perhaps we get a bit of a pop-up first, and then it happens. But that's the bull case in my opinion. If this thing is going to go back towards 28K before going lower, and we're not going to take out this low or any of those other lows I mentioned, this needs to hold, and whatever this pullback is in process here needs to be capped no lower than, in my opinion, around the OTE of this swing. Okay, so I wouldn't really want to see price trading if I'm a bull below 25,400, let's say, around the OTE here. And any sort of move down into here, I want to see the bulls step in. So if we come down here, right, I want to see bullish price action here. I want to see the bulls step in. I want to see a sweep of a low and then a move up on the lower time frames, right? I want to see, right, this kind of shit happen in here. And then that would be a long I'd be interested in taking up into here and then up into 27 and potentially higher. But for now, it feels like I'm forcing it. I think there's cleaner markets to look at, and I'll cover some of those in this video, as opposed to Bitcoin right now, because it's just a little bit choppy. It's a little bit of a choppy mess. So I'm just hoping to get something that's a little bit cleaner, a little bit more easy to trade. But this is the area where it should hold if this is going to make another leg higher. This down move right here needs to sustain. Okay? Would you be able to take a look at Meta and GBP USD? Sure. Does Mayne hold any spot BTC and ETH? Yes, I do. Definitely do. Travis, I believe you bought BTC in the low 25Ks. In 3 to 5 years, you'll be very happy with your buys between 10 and 20K. Yes, that's accurate. I did sell some spot here, right, when we failed to make fresh highs above here, but I'm still holding lots of the spot I bought during the FTX nuke. Mayne, when you say reclaim, do you mean daily close above 20K? Yes, I'm talking about the daily here. If we see any sort of 12-hour or daily close above 28K, I would consider that level reclaimed. Mayne, what is your thoughts on FTX spot selling and any impact on the market? I don't really know enough to have an opinion. I don't know if there's a schedule. Are they able to dump it all at once? Is some of it locked up over a long time? I don't really know. But I don't really have enough information to make an opinion there. All I hope is they sell all their assets so they can pay me some of my fucking money back. That would be nice. Yes, I will look at USD JPY. USD JPY looks like the dollar, right? It looks like the dollar index. The dollar index is going to get that big breakout I've been talking about. US JPY and US CAD are going to go gangbusters. ICT thinks Bitcoin is going to zero. Do you think about that? I don't think Bitcoin's going to zero. ICT also thought Bitcoin was going to $100 last time when it was at 3K, and it was like literally at the bottom. I will look at gold. Don't worry. Do you think banana will ever recover? So I don't really know enough about that rug. I mean, that's just hilarious for what's going on with Zach and SZ and NJ and all those guys right now. Is like you had so many accounts shilling this fucking banana project. I'm confident most of those people didn't tell you that they were in the pre-sale, and then the thing fucking got exploited or rugged like immediately. So that's crazy. Just kind of funny how that works, right? Like, you know, everyone was shilling banana, A lot of the people shilling it were in the pre-sale, and then people bought it as soon as it went live. It went to fucking zero. My understanding is it had something to do with the tax mechanism, and then someone made a good point where they said, well, if they just removed the tax, then the coin would be fine. But obviously, the devs want that fucking tax. So I don't know. I just think it's kind of funny, right? Like, people have selective outrage, stuff that they get mad at, and it's just like, like I do think personally that if you are in something early, like, the right thing to do is to make that clear. If you've been paid, like, if you're getting in at a price that the people you're telling to buy can't get in on it, right? You should disclose that. But at the same time, right, I don't know. It's just messy. Just be honest. Honesty is the best policy. Mayne, are you getting a character in Oh Baby Games? What the cart? I fucking hope so. He's talked about it, but I haven't seen anything. At this point, I think I just watched due to how attractive I found Mayne. Thank you, Jim likes dogs. I don't know how to take that. Okay. After all the on-chain shit dries up, hopefully late Q4, I'm going to try and buy some of these Telegram bots. I think they could do some good numbers in a bull market with all the degeneracy, but the teams are so degen. Laugh my ass off. Yeah, like, I own some Unibot because Rookie told me to buy it. But I bought it a while ago, so it's still well above where I bought it. But I've only used it a little bit. Like, I'm not super much. Like, I'm not very much of an on-chain trader. Okay, let's look at Ethereum. So Ethereum came up, looks significantly weaker than Bitcoin, right? So if you wanted to long one of these two, right, take a look at FBTC. It's like hanging on by a thread here. To me, Bitcoin is probably the better long. The structure looks better. Ethereum looks much more like a bearish retest here, right? We have a 12-hour break in market structure, and then we have an upside test of that resistance. Yes, it came back strong and in one candle, but until proven otherwise, it's a bearish retest. And if you look at Bitcoin, it's effectively the same price action, right? Except for Bitcoin is doing this right now, right? Where Ethereum is just testing the underside. Bitcoin is broken through that level and is retesting the top side. So Bitcoin, if you're wanting to long one of the two of these, Bitcoin looks stronger to me, just based on the chart. And that's demonstrated here or exemplified in Ethereum BTC, just kind of looking fucking, weak right now. I still think this is an area where it could potentially form a bottom, but it is looking relatively weak, right? So keep that in mind. But Ethereum, I don't think you want to long this thing right now. If anything, shorting the bearish retest seems to make more sense. If it reclaims this 12-hour order block here, so this is basically 1630, then you could make an argument to long this thing towards the upper parts of the range. But for now, this looks like a bearish retest. Bitcoin seems much more attractive if you're looking for a coin to long out of the two. Okay. Can you talk about the Binance US stuff? So Binance US stuff's a little tricky. I think we knew this was coming, obviously, right? They were ordered to shut down. The CEO hasn't tweeted in 6 months. We knew that they were winding down operations in the US. Do I think Binance is the next FTX? No. I think Binance is a lot more liquid than FTX was, right? The market is already extremely depressed in terms of prices. FTX was basing a lot of their liquidity based on prices being a lot higher than they were. And when the market nuked, right, when the Luna crashed, that's when fucking Alameda got crushed. And then FTX had all these tokens that were decreasing in value, right? The mark-to-market whole issue. So they got smoked. They didn't have it. I think Binance has, whether or not, so I think Binance US, it makes sense. They're shutting down. They can't be in the US. The US wants nothing to do with them. The issues lie with Binance International as a whole here. One, are they commingling funds, right? Are the funds that they show, because they have hot wallet, they have like tens, 30, 40, 50 billion dollars that you can see on chain in wallets that they control. So they got the money, right? The question is, are they commingling funds? Are they using customer deposits where they shouldn't be? Is there impropriety going on there? The second issue arises, right, as much as, yes, Binance US is shutting down because they're on US soil. If you are a company and you serve clients in the US, the DOJ and the SEC and stuff, they can come after you. Doesn't matter if you're in Hong Kong, Singapore, Dubai. It does not matter if you have US customers. Okay. So Binance geofences the US. You're not supposed to trade there. You can't sign up. You can't do this. It's that. Doesn't mean that they don't have US people still trading on the exchange through various ways that you can kind of get around those things. But those seem to be the two biggest issues. I don't think Binance is FTX 2.0. That being said, I do not want Binance to go under. Whether or not you like CZ or not, Binance is the biggest exchange in the space. It's the best exchange to trade on. It's got the best liquidity. And if it were to go under, a la FTX, and there's huge amounts of fraud and they can't cover their debts and things like that, that would set the space back so fucking far, it's insane. But if there's some sort of Binance capitulation, right, that causes price to dump, that's probably a dump I'm interested in buying. But I think on the whole, I would like to see Binance survive. I'm okay with some FUD coming out and price dropping 10 to 20% so I can load up cheaper. But I don't want to see Binance become FTX. I think that would be very bad for all of us, and this bear market would get a whole lot longer. To that point, another potential, capitulation event, right, is I don't know about where you guys live, but at least here in Canada, the COVID talk is ramping up again, right? They're talking about masks again. They're talking about lockdowns again. They're talking about getting your booster shots and things like that. So to me, something that you definitely have to be aware of is there could be potentially another COVID-like black swan. Like, what if COVID, they come out and they say, hey, we're shutting down the economy again, and who knows, maybe it's a repeat of 2020. I don't know. But if there's some sort of capitulation event in crypto, right, like how much lower can it go? Obviously, infinitely near to zero. But if we get some sort of major capitulation event where we get a 20 to 30% dump, based on how the chart looks and my belief that we will see a new all-time high in Bitcoin, personally, I believe that. Not saying that that's going to happen for sure, but my thesis is the same as when I bought over here for this move up, is if we dump down to 10, 15K, every Bitcoin I buy, I'm going to assume the stop loss is it going to zero, basically. Okay, so quick look at the dollar here. I'm still bullish on the dollar. I still think the dollar trades higher. I was hoping it would come down and test this order block here, but it might not. It might just go up from here. And if that's the case, that's okay. But I'm still bullish on the dollar. I still think we trade to 105, 106. And if you're looking at the dollar on the high time frames here, to me, like, let's say if you're a diagonal line trader, right? Has this not already broken out of this downtrend line, right? So maybe we get some sort of retest, but like it looks like it's breaking out there. For me, I like horizontal levels more. But that being said, we're getting very close to a super key area. If we break out above here, I think we fill in this fair value gap here on the weekly. So if we get a convincing breakout above 105, 106, I think this can trade to 107 up to 110. So if that happens, let's assume that dollar does this. Bitcoin's going to do this. Ethereum's going to do this. Euro USD is going to do this. Gold is going to do this. Anything that is denominated in USD is going to get smoked. And the things that are numerated in USD, like USD JPY, USD CAD, those things are going to go up. So that's what you have to be concerned about. If you're looking at the dollar and you give credence to the confluence that the dollar provides when looking at other markets, I think the confluence is much more potent and important with traditional assets. But absolutely something that you want to be aware of is if the dollar has a major breakout, right? That's not going to be good for crypto. And I think that it can trade a lot higher. I think it can trade up to here if it's going to break out. Like it's into resistance. It's coming into resistance here. So for crypto's sake, you want this resistance to fucking hold. So if you look at something like UJ, right? Like someone was saying, hey, look at UJ. It looks like it's gearing up for a huge breakout. Look at the monthly here on UJ. Does this not look like it wants to break out higher? To me, it does. Like it's either this is the lower high right fucking here, or this is going way higher. And if this is going way higher, right, that means the dollar's going way higher. Probably not good for Bitcoin and crypto. So that's something you're going to want to keep an eye on, right? In my gold analysis, I posted this and everyone was like, no way, man, gold's going higher, blah, blah, blah. I need to go find that tweet that I sent, the original one where I drew this out. And I posted this. And I said, I'm looking for a short to form here. We got the trigger there, right? We got the trigger right there. We got another trigger here. I didn't end up taking this one. I still think we probably clear out this consolidation. But there was some, douche nozzle who's like, no, Mayne, gold's going up. You're wrong. Your big box won't save you. And it's like, okay, well, we're down fucking huge since I posted this. I know huge is a relative term. It's only like a few percent. But in TradFi, this is a big down move in gold. And I still think it's going to go lower. This guy says, can't you trade USD BTC? Of course. Trading USD BTC would mean you're selling Bitcoin because you think it's going to go down into dollars because you think dollars is going to go up. It's just the inverse. You're in Canada, mate. Why look at the US dollar? Quit LARPing. I don't even know what you mean by that. Everything is denominated or numerated in the US dollar, including the Canadian dollar, which is why I pay so much attention to it. I love you too, son. I haven't traded assets like FX before, so looking at JPY, seeing price history from decades ago, do you still put any thought into that, saying high time frame resistance is null and void? Absolutely, I put thought into that. I like FX because you have tons of price history that you can use and look at. I find FX is super clean and nice to trade and consistent to trade. And there's, tons of price history and things you can look at. I really enjoy it. How dollar is going up if monetary tightening is coming to a stop? Well, who's to say it's for sure coming to a stop? We don't fucking know. Anything can happen, right? But again, I don't look at any of that shit really. I primarily just focus on the charts themselves and I make all of my decisions based upon that. Link Marine says Canadian dollar is monopoly money, coming from the guy who's called a Link Marine. Could be worse. Could be worse. Yeah, I love trading FX. I think it's a lot cleaner than trading crypto. It's extremely liquid. It's way more consistent. It trades around very specific session times. The other beauty is, let's say you don't want to trade for a week. The amount of money in your account stays the same. Whereas if you hold Bitcoin, you can take a week off trading, but Bitcoin could go down 10% in that week. And then what, right? Gold to 1850. I think gold to 1880 at least. Running Bitcoin. Yo, Mayne, I used your ref link, but can't DM you on Twitter. Can you hit me up, please? Running Bitcoin. Can you DM me on Instagram? Same handle, Trader Mayne. Lol, Romeo said, why are all the shit traders suddenly bearish on gold at the highs? I don't know who Romeo is. How long do you spend in the charts now that you don't have to? I mean, I'm at my computer most of the day because, I mean, this is what I do for a living. I love it. But I definitely don't need to spend as much time on the charts. I can look at the charts and in 30 minutes pretty much decide if there's any trades that I want to take. Do you mainly use H12 and H1 for FX? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I use the weekly a lot more too. Caught a nasty ad CAD short yesterday. Let's take a look at it. So here's what I see. Right? There's your high. There's your low. Right? Here's your order block. H12 SFP. Right into the order block. Go down to the hourly. A little bit tricky entry, but I would reckon that this is probably your entry. I don't know what your trade was, but either this here, so the H1 order block that pushed us down, gave us that displacement, or here is a second entry right here, right? And then this is your breaker kind of entry. Right? Those would be the two that jump out at me. Just looking at this, but I don't really trade this pair and I haven't done any analysis on it, but that's what jumps out at me. No focus on CAD. Are you ashamed of being Canadian? Have you fucking been part of this country lately? Yeah, it fucking sucks. The banking system sucks. Our currency is fucking whack. We're in massive amounts of debt. We have a commie running the fucking country, burning through all of our money. Our taxes are 50% for the highest income earners. The healthcare system is fucked. There's massive amounts of homeless in all of the major urban centers like Vancouver, downtown, full of fucking people doing drugs, living outside in tents in the middle of the street in some of the most expensive real estate in the world. Inflation is out of fucking control. Where do you want me to stop? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, Canada's a fucking shithole these days. Can't open bank accounts here in Canada either if you use crypto. If you tell your bank that you're going to invest, you're going to put crypto in there, or you're going to or you try and interact with the crypto exchange, even though you pay taxes and you do everything legit, they will shut your bank account down. Yeah, free healthcare is a scam, bro. Question about Canada. The normies okay with this? Okay with what? Is a break in market structure up for interpretation, or is there a set rule? So, good question. So there's two ways that I look at, or that people generally look at market structure. So they will either use, right, the wicks, right? So if it closes through the wick, then it's a break in market structure. Or some people like CBS, for example, they use candle bodies. So I think CBS posted this the other day, right? So he said this was the market structure level here on Bitcoin that we closed through. So he's using the candle bodies. So he's saying that's a weekly market structure break. I personally use the wicks. So I want to see a wick. Cold blood chiller. That's CBS. One day I'm going to visit Canada and road trip through the mountains. I mean, listen, it's fucking beautiful. That's for sure. With the problems you just mentioned. Some of them are, but some of them are just fucking sheep and they don't give a fuck, right? I mean, most normies, what are they going to do? They don't have the ability to leave. They don't have the ability to go anywhere. So what are you going to fucking do? The fact that some influencers aren't willing to call out SZ, XO, and J except publicly tells you more about what they may be up to themselves rather than being some form of fear retribution, surely. Not necessarily. Like, why is it my job to fucking be the police of fucking Twitter? I don't care. It has nothing to do with me. Why is it my responsibility to fucking go and say, oh, that's bad? I just told you I think it's bad, right? But like, it's not my fucking job to. I'm not the fucking police. Like, I think what Zach does is good, right? But like, it's no one's responsibility to fucking call out other people and try and be like, I fucking got you. You shouldn't do that. I'm better than you. Like, I don't give a fuck. It's nothing to do with me, right? All I care about is that I provide value to the people who follow me and enjoy my content. That's who I do this for. I don't fucking do this for other influencers. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm doing this for me and for you guys. That's why I'm here. I don't need to be here, right? I don't like. There's nothing. There's no reason for me to try and play fucking judge, jury, and executioner. It's not my business. I don't know all the facts. I don't fucking know, nor do I care. Is Kelowna, Canada nice? Beautiful in the summer. Accidentally stumbled onto the downtown east side when I visited Vancouver. It's like The Walking Dead. Yeah, it's fucked up down there, bro. It is like crazy bad, like shockingly bad. It's like fucking city blocks and it's just homeless people in tents and shit like that. It's fucked up. People fucking passed out, cracked out, all that fucking shit. To protect even your own followers from being influenced by scammers, for fuck's sakes, you interact with the above. It's not my job to protect you from doing anything. That's your job. That's what my big rant was at the start of the fucking video. It's your money, right? You figure out whether or not you should be listening to other people, right? I don't know enough of the facts. I did not look into Zach's thread very deeply or SZ and those guys' response because I don't care. I have my own shit to worry about, okay? And it's not my job to tell you what to fucking do, right? Like, it's like, it's your own money, man. You gotta fucking be the steward of your own fucking finances. Don't depend on me or anyone else to tell you who's good and who's not. Guess what? I used to tell people to use FTX. Does that make me a bad person? Right? Like, I didn't know that it was going to fucking rug. I lost a shitload of money. My brother had money on there because I told him it was good. Right? So, like, it's not, you shouldn't be listening to influencers for anything. Take everything with a grain of salt. Make your own decisions because it's your money. Have you ever been to Banff? Yes, Banff is beautiful. Beautiful. Any guidance on my question above? Do you always look at OBs to hold, or do you ever look for stop runs, liquidity grabs below? If you do both, how do you determine which one? It's a combination, like that new Drake song, combination. Right? So like we have this weekly order block here, right? I'm not just buying the order block. I'm looking for things like stop runs and price action within the order block as a means to get into my entry. So the majority of my system is based on finding a level of interest, which is like an order block, and then I'm looking for price to give me bullish price action at that level, because effectively all I'm trying to time is when the higher low is going to form. I want to see price action on the low time frame get bullish. Because if this is a 12-hour candle up and this is a 12-hour candle down and then this is another 12-hour candle up, well, guess what? On the H1 here, it's in a downtrend. But at some point, that H1 chart is going to flip from a downtrend to an uptrend. That's what I'm looking for because I'm trying to get in line with that next leg up. Mayne, I want to learn trading seriously. Is ICT videos a good place to start and learn everything in a structured way? Absolutely. The 2016 mentorship and the 2022 mentorship, which is all on his Twitter for free. Very good starting point. I would start with the 2022 mentorship and then do the 2016 one, but you might not like his teaching style. He talks a lot. He takes forever to explain things, and he makes things that sometimes are kind of simple very complicated. So keep that in mind. Mayne, which trading view tool do you use to draw ranges with the mid-range with one click of the mouse? Is a modified fib? Yeah, it's just a fib. So if you go into the fib here, I have multiple ones. So this is my EQ one. Then my regular one has this the kind of sweet spot one, but that's all it is, just a fib. How to diagnose low time frame tracks action is bullish. Market structure, right? So if we're in a downtrend here, at some point, I'm waiting for a shift, right? Instead of lower lows and lower highs, eventually I want to see a shift. And that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. The problem is, Clarkson, is I don't know who's in the right or wrong. I haven't looked into it enough to make an opinion, right? But me liking someone's tweet or commenting on it or something like that does not mean that I necessarily co-sign everything that they do or say, right? Like, I was in Trader SZ's mentorship for years. I learned a ton of stuff from the guy. So I have respect for him in that sense. I don't know the facts well enough to know if what he did was legit or not. I genuinely do not know. But again, it's not my problem. Like, it's not my job to come out and be like, I think this. Like, who fucking cares what I think, right? Make your own decision. And then you decide if that is someone you want to interact with or listen to or not. I have not talked about ES yet. So I thought we were going to push a little higher here on ES, right? So I'd marked out this resistance. Okay. We'd come up into it. We'd mapped out a nice short up here the other day. I definitely thought this bounce was going to come up and run these highs again. When I was analyzing this yesterday, I thought this might have more juice. And I thought maybe we would go up here and get a short. That's still possible. We could still absolutely come up here. But right now, this is looking kind of heavy. So this is your H12 range. So I'm just waiting. If we get a break below here, right, I will then look for the next bounce. And I'll look to short that into here. But for now, we're within this H12 range. I'm not short from up here. And I did not short this yesterday or this morning, whenever this was. So I don't have a position right now. I need to wait and see which way the market is going to break. If we break below here and make a new low, I'll look to sell the next bounce into here. But I'm not counting out the potential of another move up. And then if we fade up here, that is a short I'd be interested in taking. Have a good night, Matthias. This guy says RNDR H4 breaker block M15 entry. Let's take a look. I got fucking roasted trying to short this yesterday. So I tried to short this yesterday based on this 12-hour SFP, but I got cooked. So this guy's saying H4 breaker block. So this, I assume. And he's saying M15 entry. But is there a sweep on the H4? Not really. So I don't really see the M15 entry unless you're maybe talking about this. I don't know. Are you talking about this maybe? Is that your setup? I'm not really sure. Is a break in market structure up for I already answered that. Any guidance? Okay, I already answered that. BNB, sure. Let's look at BNB. So again, I don't want BNB to go to zero, but man, we are hanging on by a thread here. Hanging on by a thread here at this support level. Not dumping yet, or not yet, but it hasn't nuked yet. But again, this kind of a move up, instantly rejected. Like if we get that capitulation event where Bitcoin and Ethereum have a significant pullback, like BNB, in my opinion, could be one of the largest movers to the downside, simply because, in my opinion, there is no support below here, right? There is no support below this price floor. Hey, Mayne, would you consider doing a one-on-one trading class? I don't know. Maybe that's something I'll offer in Friend Tech. Buy my Friend Tech shares. Maybe I'll do a one-on-one with you. Full disclosure, I make money when you buy my shares. But not really. I've done them before, a long time ago. But it's just like, how do you price it? What do I charge someone for a one-on-one? I have no idea. Because if someone's like, I'll pay you $100, like that's not worth my time. You know what I mean? Mayne, I'm not sure if you have any knowledge of prop firms. I have Lodge. But down the road, when I'm good at trading, how plausible is it to get a job at a prop firm with no formal degree, just personal results? If you have verifiable personal results of really good trading, you let me know. I can find you a prop firm that will take you on as a trader. Absolutely, the proof is in the pudding. If you have significant results over a significant period of time where you're consistently making money, you can get a job in the prop space, degree or not. Influencer trying to pump his Friend Tech shares. Exactly. Buy my fucking Friend Tech, guys. It's like, for me, it's mostly ego because there's so many fucking goofs on there whose shares are at like 1 or 2 ETH and mine's at like 0.5. Just pisses me off. I genuinely don't know what they are doing to make their fucking, like, what are some of these guys who are worth 2 or 3 Ethereum providing you that's making their share price so high? I generally don't know. If you're good, why would you use prop to trade? Because prop gives you extra capital. You can be a good trader, but maybe your portfolio is only 50 grand, right? But you've been a really solid trader and you got that 50 grand from 1,000 and it took you 2 years of really good trading. Well, then a prop firm might offer you $1 million to trade with. How about that? Mayne, how do you decide if a level has been reclaimed? Is it a candle close or retest? Generally, it's going to be a candle close on a high time frame, like on like the daily or the 12-hour, or at least like the H4. Depends where the level's derived from, right? If it's a daily level, yeah, you want to see a daily close. Because you can have a daily level here, right? And you can have a bunch of H1 candles close here. And then at the end of the day, this was just a wick on the daily chart and it closed below, right? So no reclaim. What do you eat to grow muscle? I'm fucking gross right now. I'm not in my peak shape. I was in really good shape like 6 months ago to a year ago. Kind of been lazy with the gym, just busy. But generally, protein. That's the most important thing you need to be eating if you're trying to put on muscle. Protein, 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 protein. Chicken, steak, eggs, shoveling peanut butter down my face. And then obviously making sure you're getting enough calories as well. You need to be eating in a surplus if you want to be growing. Have you ever used any specific segments of time when it comes to your trading? IPDA, 90-minute cycles, quarterly theory, true daily open, all that kind of shit. Not something I personally really use in my trading. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I know a lot of people who use very specific time-based strategies. I think it's a lot more effective in the TradFi world than it is in the crypto world. And it's a lot more important when you're trading on the low time frames as opposed to when you're trading the really high time frames. Trader Zane, odd USD. Let's look. I bought a new keyboard finally, but I still like my old one more. I got this fucking Logitech wireless, which is kind of nice, I guess. But I love this one, man. I bought this one because I liked it. It's like metal and it's like super clicky, glorious core. But like 3 of the keys intermittently just don't work. And I don't know if it's dirty and I just need to pull all the switches out and clean it. But it's pissing me the fuck off is the bottom line. But I love the way this one looks way more. So I'm going to try and fix it. It's also way more expensive. This Logitech one was cheap. Odd USD. Okay, so if you're bearish on the dollar or bullish on the dollar, right? That is a mechanical keyboard. That's why I bought it. It's mechanical, right? Like it's a mechanical keyboard. If you're bullish on the dollar, right, then your assumption is that this is going to go lower, right? So what I would be looking at here, let's look at the weekly chart. Here's your high. Here's your low. We just SFP'd the weekly low. So looking at this probably moves up a little, but overall, like it's still bearish. This range. So any sort of move up, I think you want to be looking for opportunities to short, assuming the dollar continues to go higher. I'm in this UCAD long because I do think the dollar trades higher. So I'm long dollar CAD as a way to get exposure for that. Can DXY break above 105? How soon? Sub 100? Feels soon. I'm thinking the opposite. I think DXY is going to at least 105, 106. And if it holds above here, I think it goes to 107 plus. How did you identify the August 23rd H1 MSB before moving up to the mid-range? What a specific question. August 23rd H1 MSB. We're moving up to the mid-range. Probably here, right? Right there. Here's the high that generated the low. Right, and then you had another one right here. Sweep. MSB. Retest. Boom. Remember, we took 2 longs here. We took this one, and then we took a second one. So is BNB worth shorting, or will other exchanges halt selling BNB? I have no idea, but if BNB gives a setup, it's definitely one that I'd like to have short exposure on for sure. All right, guys. I don't know if I got anything else. Gold looks like it's just going to continue to melt. TRX, please. I've been getting wrecked trying to short it. Preach it, brother. Avoiding toxic shit. Such huge game changer in life. Dude, trust me. Your life will be so much better when you try and just eliminate negativity. Like something I've been trying to do on like Instagram and Twitter as well is like I used to follow all these random pages that would just post fucking bullshit that I don't care about fucking rappers or fucking movie stars or just shit that's like, why do I need this type of input into my fucking life? I don't, right? So just eliminate it. Eliminate it. How's your bot in the Discord working? It's not taking a lot of trades right now. It doesn't do very good with breakouts. It does really well in a range-bound environment. So it's still being worked on by the devs. And keep in mind, I didn't create the bot. I'm funding the developers who are working on it to do it, and it's just being live tested. It doesn't cost you anything. But to me, like having a a bot or something like that back tested kind of means nothing, right? Coin, I like Coin. I've posted this a while ago. Like I think that the bottom is in on Coin. We have a big monthly run on liquidity and a market structure break. So I think anywhere in this area, from mid 50s up to the low 70s, I think is a buy for much higher. Like I definitely think before going way lower, before making a new low, I think it's much more likely that it trades up to here. Lulu, is that what you said? Someone Lulu? Yeah, I don't know. Hard to read. Like right now, this kind of looks like a big over under, doesn't it? Over under. So I would want to see it. I'd want to see if this is bullish. I'd want to see this reclaimed, right? That's going to be the key zone above there. TRX. I'm actually short TRX right now. Basically just 3-day order block. Got a huge amount of lows here, right? Like this just looks like juice here. So I'm already short this. But again, it's right at my entry, so not financial advice. If I get stopped out, I'm the one losing money. So what do you think about Gala? I don't really know anything about it. I would say probably it's shitty. I don't know. Looking at the chart, looks like trash. Probably don't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Canopy growth. Good question. Because weed stocks seem to be heating up a little bit. Starting to perk up here a little bit. First signs of life after fucking eternal death. So this looks like potentially exciting time for weed stocks. Some of them are starting to perk up. Right? Like just like non-stop downtrend for fucking literally years. And be very aware that this bump could be like any of these. But above this area here, like above, I know this is like a crazy high time frame level, but like above even here, I mean, look at that. This is the weekly chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 3 out of the last 20 weeks were green. The remaining 17 were all down candles. So yeah, first signs of life in a long time for some of these stocks, right? I wouldn't chase something that's up, 300% in the last few days. So since the end of August, this thing's up 400%. So you don't want to chase, but this is potentially a welcome sign. And maybe it's time to start paying attention on some of these weed stocks. I am looking at weed stocks right now, yes. OP. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a good read on this one. I guess this is support here. And I guess that's a sweep. So let's see here. This would be your breaker. You could argue this is a decent long setup here. Assuming the market doesn't crater. You know, this could be a decent little long here. That would be a very loose stop, though. You could have a much tighter stop. You could bring your stop up to like here. Give you a lot better risk reward. Not have to be as aggressive with your target. But yeah, this could potentially be an up here. Yeah, I already covered S&P, guys. Okay. I think that's where I'm going to call it here, guys. We're hour and 20 minutes. I need to eat something. I worked out, haven't had dinner yet, so I need to get some food going. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Shout out to the sponsors of the video. Full disclosure, paid sponsorship with Prime XBT. Been working with them for 2 years now. They've been supporting me in the channel. So if you want to support me, one of the ways you can do that, use that Prime XBT link in the description. Use code Mayne50 before you deposit any money. And you get a 7% deposit bonus. I still have 20% deposit bonus codes. So if you want those, shoot me a message. I'll send them over to you. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll be back with another one soon. But again, as much as it's fun to get into the drama on the timeline, trust me, I've been there. You can scroll forever and you can see what this person says and what's this person says and what's this side of the story, what's that side of the story. Your energy and your time is way better spent inward. Focus on your own learning, your own progression, your own money. Spend less time on all the noise outside of that, and your life and your trading will be substantially better. I promise you that.